Hello, everyone. Welcome to this MHI Tech Talk. We're excited to talk to this year's MHI Innovation Award winners. The MHI Innovation Award, it serves to educate and provide valuable insights on the latest manufacturing and supply chain products and services entering the industry, or even revolutionizing some of them you might have thought you've seen already. TJ Shelters, welcome up here on the panel. You are the Senior Vice President of Motive Power at Concentric. You were the winner of the Best Innovation of an Existing Product Award. So taking something, making it even better. I can't wait to hear about it. So this is the PowerHIVE Forklift Battery Reload System. So TJ, introduce yourself a bit more and tell us quickly about your winning innovation.
First off, thank you for having us, and we're excited to have won the award. Yeah, I'm TJ Shelters. I'm the Senior Vice President of Motive Power for Concentric. And our award, of the Innovation Award, is the PowerHIVE. It's a lithium battery swap system or reload system for MHI equipment. And Concentric's been in the power management business for over 20 years with the main goal of providing uninterrupted power to our customers. And the PowerHIVE really is the first system in our space that truly puts that bill. So long story short, an operator pulls into the system, gets off the lift truck, pushes a button. 2 minutes later, their power is completely reloaded and they can get off and do work. And people ask a lot about why go back to possible battery changing when everybody wants to do one for one. And I always talk about a handheld drill, right? When you're out doing work with your handheld drill, you don't want to stop to charge that battery. You just simply want to replace it. So that's why we developed the system. And it's got several other benefits, which we'll talk through, but we separated that power from the counterweight. So it gives the customer a ton of flexibility in their fleet. So a 36-volt battery will power all 36-volt equipment. It reduces peak power consumption in a big way. You don't have to worry about plugging in. And then it allows customers to move more product and become more productive.
We like being more productive. Thank you, TJ. Now, I hear also your system has already automated over 75,000 battery reloads. So tell us a little bit, what have been some of the surprising operational insights that you've seen come through since achieving all that?
Yeah, actually, we're over 150,000 reloads now. We have a live reload.
Since we even prepared. Awesome, TJ.
We have a live reload count on our website, so anybody can go there and look at the amount of reloads. We've deployed more and more systems, so that counter tends to spin a little faster today. But really, the most surprising operational insight is the productivity that the customers have seen by using the system. Operators are going to take breaks, so that you expect them to go plug in and just take that 15-minute break. And that's typically not the case in a facility, is what we found. And if you're battery changing today, there's typically long wait lines or other issues there. So the customers that have deployed are reporting back to us at minimum a 5% increase in their productivity, which is hitting their P&L directly, which is awesome. And then they've also provided some other cool insights. Safety is a huge one. It completely takes the operator away from the power, right? They get off a truck and you push a button. The system has a ton of safety features with it. So they love having safe operations. And then energy and sustainability. If you're opportunity charging, especially lithium, you're putting energy into that battery very quickly. So although lithium is more efficient than lead and will consume less ampere hours or kilowatt hours, most states have some sort of peak charge today. So the customer ends up paying more. This system eliminates that. Space is a big one. It only operates in under 700 square feet, and it'll power over 100 trucks. So you're really reducing the amount of space needed to run your fleet. And then, everybody talks about fleet management. There's been COVID and other things. So, you may have one style of truck. You may want to go to a different style of truck. And if you buy that typical battery box, you're locked into that power. The power today will outlast the chassis. So this provides that flexibility because, again, we separated it. We have a cradle that's embedded in the truck. And then the way that it charges, we'll talk a little bit more about in a second, but we really protect that battery and manage the cycle count of that battery with the system.
This Hive charging area, it uses AI to optimize charging and energy uses, right? So I'm wondering, tell us, you touched on this already, but give us a little bit more about how that intelligence translates into real cost savings and sustainability gains for your customers.
When you have one battery per truck, if that battery goes down, you're out of operation. And this system takes you out of that. And a big thing with energy optimization, we talked about fast charging. This system doesn't have to fast charge a battery. When the battery goes into the rack, we kind of queue the batteries and it'll charge it up to 70% and it'll hold. until it's needed, then it'll charge to 90. So even in the system, not all the batteries are charging at one time. So it's truly managing that peak power demand and facility power. So you're getting that 20 to 30% savings in kilowatt hours. And then not every lift truck at a facility operates at the same pace. So the cycle count on batteries can get kind of wonky, no different than hours on a lift truck. And this system uses our algorithms to make sure that we're cycling through. Again, because if you have 24 volt, 36 volt, or 48 volt trucks, you're using the same battery by voltage. So either 48 volt battery, 36 volt battery, or 24 volt battery. So it's been a pretty neat system. And the other major thing is infrastructure at a customer. You may not have the infrastructure today. We're not producing any more energy as a country. So a lot of times utilities limit it, or your transformer may not be able to handle it. And those infrastructure upgrades can be costly. We've heard over $1 million. And with this system, because of the way we do it, you don't have to do that anymore.
Some companies have innovation as like a department. They say, go over here and innovate this thing. Others, it's kind of, infused throughout what they do as the company as a whole. You're all winners. I'm curious what approach your companies have taken. How do you see innovation within the company?
I don't care to start. For Concentric, it's the customer, right? At the end of the day, we're listening to the end users in our space and what the need is. And we try to feel that need and bring that back in-house to develop a solution that's for them, that'll work for them.
How are you as a group measuring the success or impact of the innovation post-launch, or maybe even post reaching a certain peak? How do you continue to measure whether that innovation had the right ROI, or what it looks like in terms of impact going forward? Measuring success is the question here, really.
I would probably speak for the group when I say that's the key to a new innovation. There's a lot of challenges, and the customers have doubt. They've been shown a lot of new things, and they don't always come true. So being able to deploy a system quickly that works and that does what it says it's going to do is the challenge. So at Concentric, we have an upfront analysis and an assessment with a lot of indicators, right? So those P&L impacts we talked about, we'll go through that with the customer and then deploy. And once we deploy, we go back to those measurements to make sure that they're accurate. And I'm happy to report thus far for us, the customers have brought back achievements that beat our ROI, which isn't always an awesome thing for the customer.
Now, winning an award like this, maybe it can open new doors, right? It looks good. People know about it. We're talking about it today. Can you tell us what's next for your team or for this product? Is there a V2 coming? Tell us a little bit what's next for each of your innovations.
Well, the first thing we're doing is we're speeding up the robotic arm. So 2 minutes is still a great reload time. We can actually fit 5 cabinets in our system, but because if you do 2 minutes divided by an hour, you can only do so many reloads. So we're going to speed the arm up, and then we're looking at maybe some smaller versions or modification of the battery reload, for customers that have smaller facilities and outdoor applications. Class 5 IC is something that we're really going to take a look at as well. So that's kind of where we're headed.